Educational Institution Reservations in Teacher Cadre Bill 2019. India has emerged as a superpower that is alerting the hegemonic balance of power. But the largest democracy is still tainted with caste-based discrimination. There has been a 37% increase in atrocities against scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the past decade, which is very alarming. Not just prohibiting crimes, it is an urgent requirement for establishing level grounds so that the vulnerable group can be at par with the privileged. Sir, Madam, the Central Education, this amendment bill is yet another effort to bring equality by reviving the 200-point roster as against the 13-point put forth by the High Court of Allahabad. The aim of the bill is to consider a central education institution as a unit in place of department to ensure proper functioning of the reservation system in direct recruitment of teaching faculty. I take the opportunity to explain this as the public might be in dilemma as to how this is beneficial. Rather, direct reservation, department-wise reservation will yield more benefit, more employment. But this is false because the number of vacancies for recruitment of each department will not be enough to support the reservation. Thus, I appreciate this bill. But I would like to know from the Honorable Minister to ask a question and seek a clarification through you, Madam, on the necessity of promulgating the ordinance dated 7th March 2019. Madam, Article 123 of the Indian Constitution as interpreted by Pandit H.N. Kunzru is to deal with situation where an emergency in the country necessitated urgent action. The clauses of UGC Guideline 2006 were squashed by the High Court of Allahabad on 7th April 2007. Why didn't the government introduce the bill in this following session? And the Supreme Court also gave the similar verdict on 23rd January 2019. The Parliament was in session from 31st January to 13th February and in which a historic bill was passed. Then why didn't the government make effort to legislate on the important national issues? Madam, instead an ordinance was promulgated dated 7th March 2019, just 3 days prior to the announcement of election. This cannot be a mere coincidence. It held a clear intention of attracting vote banks. By promulgating time and again, this is going against a very nature of a parliamentary form of the government. This house is constituted of eminent and learned representative of people, and by promulgating ordinance on every matter, the government is exhibiting an absolute authoritarian feature. It is discarding the input and views of this house, and it missed to include economically weaker section in the ordinance. So we see this house sits to give a better laws to India, going beyond the purview of party politics, going beyond the party politics, it should be given importance and respect as it deserves. Now coming to the section 4 of the bill, the clause B of subsection 1 is a valid point and in accordance with the fundamental rights of the minority community. But subclause A provides a certain institutions which will be kept out of the provisions of this bill. I would request the minister to explain the selection, the basis of selection of the institutions. As much as I could interpret, all of them have one thing in common, that being science. All the institutes fall under the category of science and technology. By doing so, is the government again repeating the mistake of doubting the capabilities of the concerned category? When these universities have reservation for the student community, then why not the teachers as well? Sir, I would like to put forth a couple of suggestions. Firstly, reservation should be allowed for the universities that are excluded, because if the criteria put forth by them is met with by any candidate of the concerned section, then why not the opportunity be given to him or her? After all, it is our fundamental duty to promote scientific temper in the society, and what better way than promoting the people who have been neglected throughout. Secondly, a regulatory board should be constituted to ensure proper functioning of the provision of the bill, and in case of any dispute, it can discharge quick verdict. This is necessary because even after the ordinance, 4 universities, namely Central University of Punjab, Karnataka University, Tamil Nadu University, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University did not comply with the provisions. These would have gone unnoticed if it was not brought by Sri Javed Ali Khan during 0 hour in the Rajya Sabha. Now the resolution of the matter as asked upon to do so by the Honorable Chairman of the Rajya Sabha will take a lot of time, delaying the whole recruitment of else depriving the eligible. This is why a responsible body to handle the affairs in necessity, the body should also be entrusted with the duty of looking into the redressal matter if arising after employment. This is because every other day we come across cases involving hatred towards vulnerable sections concerned in the bill, namely scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, socially and educationally backward community, and economically weaker section, doubting and questioning their capability. Madam, please allow me 2 minutes. There is a high chance that the teachers will also face similar problems. A Hindi poet has put it in this manner, daftar mein sab theek thak chal raha tha, fir dalit hu maine bata diya sabko. To avoid cases like that which involve suicide of Rahid Vimula, this is a very important step that the government can take and should the action, and it cannot be done until serious steps are taken, because another young girl, Payal Tadvi, lost her life. Sukhdev Tharat, a professor emeritus of JNU and former UGC chairman, who headed the committee to investigate the allegation of discriminatory treatment against scheduled caste, scheduled tribe student at AIMS, had found that lower caste students face discrimination in everyday life at the premier institutions. About the measure that should be taken to check the discriminatory behavior, he said there has to be an act by the government to make caste-based discrimination at the university campuses a punishable offense. Apart from this, a set of guidelines should be formulated for the upper caste student on how to behave in presence of the students from the marginalized sections. Madam, 1 minute. Finally, I would like to conclude by saying that in order to ensure the compliance of constitutional provision under Article 14, 15 and 16, which the government must consider the suggestion and not just discard it. Lastly, I would conclude by quoting Sheetal Sathe, a young Ambedkarite. Nausea served in the plate, the untouchable nausea. The disgust grows in the belly, the untouchable disgust. It's there in the flower buds, it's there in sweet song. That a man should drink another man's blood, This is the land where this happens. This is the land of hellish nausea. We have to strive hard in order to change this scenario. Thank you, Madam, for giving me the opportunity to conclude my speech. Thank you.